My name's Tristan-Francois Vernal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 17-year-old from Kilburn. Born in Northwest, but I grew up in that Kilburn, mainly Kilburn. Yeah, I've been through, started at East Wembley, started football around 8. Then joined Cricklewood Wanderers around 12, 13. I was there for, I say a year.
Yep.
A year. Then I moved on to Millwall. I was at Millwall from under 13 to under 16. Good couple, 3 years. Then I got released. I didn't get a scholarship. Then I went round to a couple of clubs. I went to Norwich. I went to Watford. But both teams told me to drop down a step, like to get more experience. So I went to Leyton Orient and I got a scholar at Leyton Orient, and I've been there for the last 2 years now.
Yeah. You said, how is it right now, man? How's the experience, man? How is it?
It's good, to be honest. A good experience playing football from Monday to Saturday, week in, week out. Monday to Saturday football. Yeah, it's like being a professional, but it's not always glitz and glamour. I'll be honest. It's tough.
Yeah,
mentally.
That's what I want to. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's what I want to get into.
Yeah, mentally, it's tough. It's a big challenge, and you always think about the end goal. But it's good, man. Like Leyton Orient's a good club. I think it's a good club. I've been in and around the first team there. Like I'm a centre half. I didn't tell you I'm a centre back. So I've been in and around the first team as a first year scholar, but I'm a second year scholar now. But due to COVID, we're not allowed to be with the first team anymore. Like be with them, can't be in the same building. So it means you're away. So you have to perform in your youth game, in your youth games a lot more to get in the eyes of the first team player. So that's the only problem. COVID's kind of pushed everything back. But it's kind of a blessing in disguise because I had time to work on my weaknesses during the lockdown.
Are you currently still on loan? Or what's happened since the lockdown?
No, I've been called back. On loan because I had a youth cup game on Monday. And also because of the lockdown, all like non-league clubs have been closed. So for a month, I'm off. But I've been told by my club, like after, they'll put me back on loan.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I thought so. Still. All right. So let's touch on. I want you to just go back a little bit. Let's go back to the early years. What your like first memories of football? What got you into football?
Funny story. I lived in Wembley, North Wembley. I used to go dance class. I didn't play football. I used to go dance with my brother, and there was kids outside running around. I was about maybe 7, 8. I said to my dad, I want to play football. I want to try football. So I went to my local team, crossed over from my house outside North Wembley School, some big park. And that's when I started playing football. Then I moved to Kenmont Primary School. And one of my uncles went to that school, and he's a coach at East Wembley. His name's Stephen Reed. He told me to come down to Wembley. And then from that day on, I was at Wembley until like 13. So that's my first memory of football. Was seeing other kids playing when I was in dance class. I said, forget all that dancing stuff. I want to play football.
Tristan, like, what is that? When passion sort of kicked off? Was it like that moment there?
Yeah, I would say I was into football before, but I didn't really play it as much. But when I started playing, when I got to East Wembley, that's when it really kicked in because I enjoyed it. It's like Saturdays, can't wait to go training, Sunday play a match. Every Saturday training, Sunday, and that's when it really kicked in. That's when I really got into football and like started watching teams, and that's when I said I'm going to support my United. Before that, I wasn't really into it as much.
Okay, cool. So all right, so the early days at AFC Wembley, I just wanted to cast back a little bit. What position did you used to play?
I started off as a striker. First, started off as a striker, then I got moved to like left mid. Yeah. Then moved to centre mid. And then played there for a couple of years. It's when I moved to Cricklewood Wanderers, I really became a defender, a centre back. I really became a centre back at Cricklewood Wanderers.
You should have seen the look on our face the whole time, bro.
No, hold on.
I don't know if you've noticed. I want to go off on a bit of a tangent. I don't know if you've noticed this with Alfred. He's always got this thing of it doesn't matter what position you tell him that you apparently play, because for some reason he always disagrees. Like it's mad, isn't it? Nah, I'm gonna hot him up.
All right.
It's crazy.
Tristan, quick one. See, when you came to us, do you ever remember our conversation about you playing at the back? Do you
No, I
remember
don't.
that?
Not that much. Nah.
Okay. So this is where I'm gonna fill you in a bit, innit? Because all right. So you got to remember, I think I first saw you when you lot were maybe under 9s or under 10s at AFC Wembley. I remember them times AFC Wembley used to play Benfica. And that's when I used to have Malachi, Chris, all them. We used to go back and forth. We used to be in different leagues, but friendly games. We used to play and probably even around with Rangers and that. And I remember the first time I saw you. And the thing is, you had this gift on the ball where you could see graceful, you could control the ball, move it. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? You see, when you talk about you used to do dance, now I can see where the coordination came from. Because definitely, when you used to get that ball, like, you used to look very, very gifted on that ball, innit? Yeah. And I remember seeing this guy, and I'm like, right, this kid is a baller, like ball. And obviously, you went through, you lot went AFC Wembley days, them days, you just missed out on, what was it, the treble? So you lot got to the final, got to the
we lost the second.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie, it was definitely, you see those 2 years, because you lot deserved to win it, and I think you had a lot of ballers there, but for 2 years, you just kind of missed out, right? And I remember, especially, and I don't even know if you realised, you were going for a growth spurt. You were going for a mad...
Yeah, I was.
And I just remember that season before you came to Cricklewood, and you were playing left back. You were playing left back for Wembley. You were playing more defensive or central midfield. And I just remember, if you can recall that time there, it looked like it was a difficult time for you, because I remember when I first saw you to that moment there, and I would say that confidence, you weren't the most confident at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? You weren't the most confident. And I remember speaking to Darren, even speaking to your dad as well, and I'm saying, right, he's going through, like, you don't realise that he's going through a growth spurt, innit? Like, what you were trying to do, what you were doing 2 years ago, you can't necessarily do it. You couldn't do it at that moment. It was, and you get me? And I remember when you came to us and I said to you, look, honestly, I think you can do a proper job as a centre-back. And do you remember the system where we were trying to, when you came, I said to us, look, I said to you, if you come with us here, our style's going to be different, because our playmaker, because we're doing 7-a-side, our playmaker is going to be our centre-back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to be playing out all the time for the back. So regardless of it's a centre-back position or last man, you're going to be the pivot. You're going to be controlling and dictating the play all the way from the back. And I'm not even going to lie, I think, you see that season? I'm not going to lie, I was very, 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 very impressed, because let's be real, I mean, if you remember what happened, obviously you came to us, but you also remember what happened at AFC.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. I was very thankful as well. Because of the growth spurt, they dropped me from the A team to the B team. At the time, I was very upset. I was thinking I deserved to be in the A team, innit?
Yeah.
But that's when you came across and said that you're going to work with me. And the training we did, especially Monday sessions, the futsal sessions indoors, that helped me a lot with my ball control, my passing, my awareness, everything. And I think the year I had with Cricklewood Wanderers with you and the training is what got me into Millwall. So yes, I have to give credit to Ace Wembley, of course, for the years, but the big year, just before I signed for Millwall, was down to you at Cricklewood Wanderers, and I'm very thankful for that, because Market Road, me, I remember Abdi was at front.
The
team, Jack, Mahad, we had a proper good team. Malachi, the team we had and the football we played, it kind of made me improve in a year, like, rapidly. Yeah. And it made me comfortable at playing at the back. And I think that little year was the big difference from me getting to academy or staying at Wembley and being in the B team, because people in the B team at Wembley wasn't as serious as people in the A team.
But you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. See that first year, even because in the day, it's first time us working together. And what I say why you impressed me, not so much what you did on the pitch, is literally, I remember you coming out from the A to the B team, which I'm not going to lie, I thought it was hard. I did think it was hard. But I understood why it needed to happen. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Not that you didn't deserve to be in the A team, but I just think at that time, what Darren and Gary and the rest of the team was trying to do, you know what I mean? You wouldn't have got enough game time in the A team at that moment. Do you know what I mean? So and they even said it clearly, what you needed to do, just go and play. Do Do you know what I mean? But if I'm honest, what really impressed me is your attitude, because, come on, man, there's a lot of guys that went from A to B, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And didn't have, do you know what I'm trying to say, your progression, because they probably took that as a disrespect and they just thought, you know what, this is, like, you know, that first challenge that you get in football when everything ain't going right, and it's like, right, the first obstacle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I saw the way you took that on, it really impressed me. It showed me a different level, the maturity first and foremost, because I remember having that conversation with you, saying to you, right, you're going to be playing out from the back. And I remember saying that, right, you're going to have to be the captain. And this is what I always say, you're the first youth captain for a Cricklewood Wanderers youth team. Do you know what I mean? And it's complimentary to you, because you see, even after you left, it took 2 years, It took 2 years to mold a player to get into to take over that role that you had. You left a big void. And funny enough, I don't know do you know who took over captaincy from you?
No.
No? Okay. I'll tell you. So the person that took over captaincy from you was Mahad, innit? Yeah.
I was going to say, have a wild guess and say Mahad. I was going to have a wild guess.
Guess. And you know what it is, dear? Let me be honest. You dropped him in the deep end, you know. You dropped him in the deep end. You know, reason being, because we had this level of expectation from the captain that we needed, like, the Crickle captain to demonstrate, innit? And let's be honest, innit? When you're on the pitch, everyone's there, you know, they'll look to you as the leader. I'll just be frank, innit? Because you had those qualities. But when you left, it's like, right, who's going to step up? And you remember, you're playing in your age group, but you had a few younger players as well, wasn't it? And the younger ones, it would have been hard for them to step up in terms of just not even say leadership on the pitch, but the talking, the communication, the galvanizing the team together. Because the funniest thing is seeing these qualities when you're like 12 or 13, everyone's looking and thinking, bruh, like, you're blatantly, like, for me, I didn't want to just open my mouth and speak it too soon. I'm thinking, like, this kid, you ain't going to be around for too long, innit? Because you're doing all the right things. And funny enough, like, obviously, like, the rest is history. But putting that pressure onto Mahad, it took him 2 years, to really grasp it. But, you know, funny enough, after those 2 years when he grasped it and understood what it is, I mean, the rest is history for him as well. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you?
I saw him the other day. He's improved a lot.
A lot. Like, this is the thing. You see, when I tell Rom about, like, Mahad early days and AFC Wembley days, he doesn't believe it, innit? He doesn't believe it. But he's a totally different player. But I would say that, look, you set an example for him to follow. It took him a while, but trust me, when he got it still. Do you know what I mean? And I say that's credit to you. That's credit to you, because, like, anything that comes after has to live up to that level, that standard, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And I feel that you took that standard and that level and you just kept pushing with it. It didn't matter where you go, because, come on, man, listen, I can tell you straight that parents used to say to me, and they're seeing you away from football, and they're saying, the way this boy carries himself, like, on your way to school. So I'm getting them reports and I'm thinking, right, like, for real, like, this kid is proper impressionable, like, or not just on his peers, but even parents, innit? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, they can see that maturity. Do you know what I mean? So, all right, cool. So let me not talk too much. Let's kind of just move on. So the early years. So let's talk about your time at Cricklewood Wanderers and that year. What led on to next in terms of Millwall?
Well, started off training really Monday. Was it Monday and Thursday? Oh, Monday. I can't remember two times. Monday, Thursdays.
Monday, Thursdays.
Monday was futsal sessions indoor, and then the Thursday was outdoors. So training every week, and I think that was good, because except from just training on Saturdays, I was training 3 times a week now. I'm playing football on a Friday or Tuesday. It was good. We used to play at Market Road at the time. What a place to play at. I really enjoyed playing there. Lots of scouts come down to Market Road. So stuff at Cricklewood. I think I had a slow start to get used to it, to being really comfortable on the ball and taking that and being captain and trying to lead the team and trying to be a better player. I had a slow start, but I think once we started going and playing with all the players we had in the team and we started winning games, we was the team to beat. And I think it was good that that's when I started to enjoy playing football. Because you can go through stages, like some kids, they like playing football, but they just stop, and they stop playing football because they're not enjoying it, because they feel too much pressures on them. But because we was training so much and playing games on a Friday and Tuesday, but it was also fun, and the training sessions you put on was fun as well. As a kid, I was enjoying it. I couldn't wait to on a Friday after school, run home, get changed. I remember you used to pick me up and say, "And go to the game." I couldn't wait.
Yeah, no, it was exciting. I'm not gonna lie, definitely exciting. And Market Road has that appeal still, because you know what it is. Even today, you're getting a lot of teams or even like managers or coaches. They don't really rate it, you know. But it's a niche. It has its own lane, which that it caters to football. Because to be honest with you, a lot of like yourself, do you know what I mean? There's other players that have got picked up by really good clubs, do you know what I mean? And are progressing, you get what I'm trying to say to you? I'm not saying that it's just you just play 7 aside, but added with that with maybe 11 aside football, maybe some futsal, do you know what I mean? It plays its part still. It definitely plays its part still. So how did you get on? Oh, sorry, Rob, did you want to ask anything? You want to jump in?
I wanted to touch on that growth spurt period, because I know a lot of people talk about, physically you change, but there's also that mental change as well, where it's like your mind was able to do certain things at one age, but because now you've grown a few feet taller, your mind's not able to do the same things that it was once able to do. I just wanted to go through that. What was that like, if we were to break that down?
So I had my growth spurt around 13. Yeah, 12, 13. I was always one of the tallest in my year, but that was like the main growth spurt. Yeah, like now I'm like 6'2". Yeah, but back then I grew past everyone, and I'll say that I was quick as a kid, and I was agile. But as I started to grow, I got slower, and I wasn't as agile. And it still affects me to this day. I'm a lot slower than I was before. So now it's like I know I have to work on my agility and speed a lot more than I would than any other kid who stayed the same height. But I think back then I didn't really know what it was mentally, because I was still a kid. It's just I'm growing, and I had Oscar Slatters though at one point.
Oh my!
Yeah, I had it at one point. I had it under 12s maybe.
Yeah,
just under 12s.
Age, yeah.
And that's when I got dropped to the B team as well, because I didn't play as much football.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, I didn't really see it as that. I was like, it's just a knee injury, my knee's hurting. But as I got older and I saw other players having it at the age of like 15, I was like, I'm actually grateful to have it at such a young age.
Yeah.
Before, like, not because one of my friends at Millwall, he had it, and you don't play football no more. It's just you don't play football anymore, and it's sad. So I'm grateful now, but as a kid, I just couldn't see it mentally, but physically, I just couldn't move the same, and I kept getting pushed back because of my height. But any manager will see me and say, "Yeah, go at the back," because I was taller than everyone else.
In terms of you, like, still, of course, like you said, it was a lot of fun and whatnot, and you wasn't really thinking about the mental challenges at the time. So, like, would you say that even though it was a little bit of a hindrance, would you say that it was quite easy for you to just breeze through that stage anyways?
Yeah, it was easy because my main thought wasn't football. I didn't really know too much about going to academies and what football in the future can bring to my life and my parents' life and all that. There were some kids around me at my age who was going on trial at Watford, the short-term player called Sean, Junior, Nathan, good footballers. But I wasn't really like into going on trial here. I didn't really think about it like that. I didn't really know about football. It's only when I got into Cricklewood Wanderers, when I got scouted by Millwall, that's when I found out about academies. I didn't even know Millwall was a club until they came to me. I had to go search up on my phone, Millwall, they play championship. I was like, raw.
Yeah.
So I didn't know about all it. So mentally, back then, I was just playing football for fun.
Yeah.
Mentally, nothing was really on my mind.
By the time you met Alfred, did you have that Oscar Lattice by the time you met Fred? Or was that?
It was just after.
But but remember, you got to remember, so Rom, so I knew Tristan, but I wasn't coaching him. So I'd been watching him for about 2 years, because obviously, like Malachi, Chris, Oliver, they all play for AFC Wembley, Benfica, and all that. So I'd been around. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So it was when I'd moved to Cricklewood and was starting the youth football and stuff like that, that obviously I'd work closely with Darren and that, and they'd let me know a few of the players that they wanted me to basically work with, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I was like, yeah, do you know what I mean? But definitely, and that's the thing, when we're talking about Oscars, or Oscar Elias, whatever you call that thing, yeah, you gotta understand, yeah, it's the luck of the draw, man. That's the saddest part, because you see, if you get it earlier, you've got more of a chance, because I'm not gonna lie, I think I got it at 13, 14, and it ruined me.
That's like what, year 8? Is that year 8?
Yeah. Year 8, year 9.
Year 9.
Year 9.
Year 9.
Year 9.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, year 8, year 9. I remember definitely, year 8, year 9, and it ruined me. And the thing is, I thought, right, that's not fair, innit? But literally, when you look at it, it's the luck of the draw, because players get it in their last year. Do you know what I mean? Their last 2 years, from year 10 all the way to they leave school, and you can't play football. That's the thing. And how are you supposed to basically get a contract if you're not playing football? The club will have to take a big gamble to be able to ensure that, all right, we're going to look after this young person, and we're also got the belief that he'll come back being the same player. And it definitely, when I went through it, it changed my whole gameplay. Do you know what I mean? I definitely couldn't play football the same way. You have to adapt. And that's the best thing, I think, with yourself, Tristan. You've learned how to adapt quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't really waste time on like, oh, this is what I used to be able to do. You kind of just adapt. All right, this is what I'm doing now, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I think it was very easy to support you in terms of getting you to look at the role of a centre-back or deep line player and take it on with 100% effort, 100% vigor, and you get the rewards for it, because you see what it is. There's adults now that you're trying to say to them, like, how about try this position, try that position? And even now, they're like, nah, I'm this, I'm that. And the thing is, it's like, at the end of the day, you can see as a footballer what you're kind of suited to. Do you know what I mean? Because no matter what, let's be real, innit? Yeah. No one, like, there's very few centre-backs with a left peg like yours, because you're left-footed, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And even in terms of being graceful on the ball, there's very few centre-backs that can look graceful on the ball. And the thing is, when you get anyone can see you at the back. As soon as that ball comes to your feet, you look at it, yeah, he can play football. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of get it to your advantage, where if you'd have been like a left winger, a left wing forward, I'm trying to say to you, Christian might be asked to think, he's a bit awkward, he's a bit gangly, or do you know what I'm trying to say? But as a centre-back, when you're picking up the ball now, you're thinking, right, that centre-back's composed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He plays with his head up. Do you know what I'm saying? He can play football. He's forward thinking. So it has its benefits, and if you're able to look past, if you can, you're looking at it from a wider scope.
Yeah. I also want to we'll touch on is that phase where Alfred, where you were coaching Tristan. But from Tristan, like, you see, from the coaches that you had before Alfred, what would you say? What was Alfred's coaching like compared to everyone else's? Because I know for me, he's definitely got a different style of coaching that maybe a lot of people might not find. What's the word I'm looking for, Alfred? I don't know if the word is orthodox. Like,
yeah, it's orthodox. It's orthodox.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the twist, but I don't know. What was it like for you, Tristan, getting coached by?
I think.
Be honest as well. Don't be honest.
Overall, it was just focused on the small details. It's the small details that matter, because when you go training, like most Sunday league teams, they do the basic passing patterns, the dribbling drills and all that. But I knew things were going to be different when Alfred said to me, we're doing futsal on Monday. That's only coaches now implement futsal into football, especially in England, whereas in other countries, they've been doing it for years. So for us to do it on a Monday at the age of 13, there wasn't many kids who was playing futsal at a young age. I heard about it before, but I didn't really play it like that. And I remember the small details of when you're turning out, really exaggerate your arm. You used to always throw the arm out. Yeah, turn out. You used to always make us focus on the small details. So I'll say the detail of like your sessions was good, and the consistency of your sessions. We did the same thing over and over and over again, but it drilled into our heads. So we knew what to do. Everyone knew their role. And I think it's good. It was good that way, because going with some coaches like Ace Wembley, sometimes they have to switch up the session depending on who they had in their squad and who came to training. And Sunday League's a lot more open to people coming down, whereas we had the same numbers every week, the same players. So the sessions was made for us as a team.
Yeah. Fred, how would you describe your style of coaching?
I'll definitely say. I mean, definitely Tristan was right, because you gotta understand. Even then, that's when obviously we designed the curriculum, innit? That's what. So everything that he's saying, you know what I'm trying to say, was literally formatted off the curriculum. If you look at the curriculum, it's for that age group. It's literally for that age group. So literally, there was a syllabus of what we're kind of working towards. And even then, if Tristan, do you remember Daniel DK?
Yeah.
So he's over in America. He's over in America now doing his stuff. Yeah, he's doing his stuff out there. But he was very adamant about, look, we don't care about the results. Play the right way, the results will come. Play the right way, the results will come. And do you know what I mean? He definitely encouraged these lot in the game. Like, stop worrying about the result. We're only interested in this, how we play. Do you know what I mean? Definitely had to be inclusive. Do you know what I mean? And you have to express yourself in it. Do you know what I mean? So I think with those fundamentals there, and obviously in terms of playing futsal, it's a lot easier, because remember, futsal's 5-a-side, we're playing 7-a-side. Do you know what I mean? So if we're focused on the futsal principles, all you got to do is add 2 more players in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not that. It's not that different. So I think these boys at that time were able to grasp it. And the thing is, we were literally playing out from the back before it's playing out from the back. And what I mean is, like, no one knew. They couldn't pick out that our playmaker was the centre back. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Our playmaker always was the centre back. That's where we build up. And if we're ever in trouble, recycle, give it to the centre back. So I think even for someone like Tristan, it gave them the understanding of, even though I'm supposed to be that defensive cover, but any time, if there's no options going up top, that ball's coming back to me, and I need to be starting looking at how I can keep this ball ticking over, look for the through pass. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? So I think it was a different concept at that time that the boys definitely bought into. You know what I mean? The whole group bought into, and it was a fun group just to work with. I mean, in terms of the coaching style, I think I could only push them as far as they wanted to go, innit? I could only push them as far as they wanted to go. I could, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean, especially with someone like Tristan. Like he definitely got pushed. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? And he definitely got pushed. And funnily enough, it was like, okay, well, he survived that one. And I wasn't trying to break it, but it's like, he survived that one. All right, we can push on, innit? We can move on to the next one. Oh, okay, cool. Move on to the next one. You get what I mean? I think there was even a few times where, even in that season, just I don't even remember, you play at deep line, then I put you up front.
Yeah, I remember once or twice I played up front. Once or twice I played up front.
Because it was like that. It was like, because we needed a back-to-goal player in it that can bring that kind of physical prowess, like literally up top. Do you know what I mean? To give, and it wasn't like we're hoofing it. It's just that literally we needed somebody that went up top and wanted to just do the basics well, innit? Do you know what I mean? Wanted to do the basics well, innit? Wasn't trying to overcomplicate things. So it was like, put him up top, literally, get the ball, turn, and he had a sweet left foot, bang. Can't remember, there was a few times when you played up there. I don't know, we put you up there for like 10 minutes. You might have got 2 or what, but I just remember you got the ball at your feet and you just lashed it to a corner and everyone like, rah, all right, cool. Do you know what I mean? But no. I mean, like, I think without them giving me the room to push them, I couldn't have pushed them. So it was more around them than myself, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What was that experience like for you, Tristan? I know we kind of touched on, maybe more of your early years in terms of when football was a little bit more fun. But in those moments where, because I know what Alfred can be like, and I know, and I've seen it live in the flesh when he tries to break players, or when he even just puts them in that little mode of being tested, and you see man crumble from the first 5 minutes. Like, what was that like for you? What was your experience like from the first time, and then maybe kind of going through like session by session?
Sessions were tough. I remember the sessions were tough. The intensity was high. So at first, it was always a blow. But I think it helped me find myself as a person, as I knew how to dig deep. From a young age, dig deep. When it gets hard, that's when you keep going. Innit? So I think And Alfred used to push us a lot. He will shout, but he's only shouting at you to help you and push you to get to become a better player. So the intensity was high. It was very high. It was very tiring, but it helped us because as a team, everyone pushed forward. And it wasn't like just one of us doing all the hard work. Everyone would scream at each other, say, "Go on, do it! You can do it! You can do it!" And Alfred made sure everyone was pushing each other on. So I think that was the best thing about it.
Memory of one of the drills or games that you used to do that maybe that it could have been your favorite, could have been the toughest one. Is there any few that kind of just sticks out?
We used to do this.
I've got some. I'll tell you that I've got some. That warm up that Fred used to do when I was playing, bloody hell in it. I've been those ones there like 2 minutes in, man up by the gate, and they have out here. Man, it's crazy. It was mad. I used to look at people, and it used to be so funny. But it's like, like for you, what was one of the key drills that you used to do?
We had a passing one, when it was indoors, and we used to do quite a lot 1-2s around the cones. But once you play, so you do 1-2 around the cone, you got to play to the other side, right? But you got to sprint, make sure you get to the other end of the pitch and sprint, and that intensity is high. Then we used to do a dribbling one, when you go toe taps, right foot, inside out, but it'll be long. It won't be just short, like 2 minutes. No, it'll be long, and you're thinking, when is this done? Like, when is it gonna die? And you keep going. And we used to attack and be defending one, like overloads, like 3v2. And as a defender, I used to throw him in a lot. Constant 3v2.
Yeah, relentless, recover.
All the time.
It's not the first two you need to worry about. It's the 6th or 7th attack that you need to worry about. Do you know what I mean? But honestly, but you know what is from, and you got to remember, I think them lot they were very fit. They were very, very fit. And I think even in terms of where their mindset was, innit? Like, I couldn't see, they were very hard to break, to be honest, at that age, because they were very fit, they played football, and they had the energy as well, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because there'll be some times where I'm thinking, boy, I think I've gone past the limit now, but no one ain't sitting down, no one ain't, do you know what I mean? Throw it up or that like that. They're just like, all right, cool, I'll do that, all right, cool. Then they go again. So, do you know what I mean? It was like a guided process, innit? Without them knowing that, right, you know, you got probably gone past the limit that it's acceptable, but all right, carry on, innit? Do you know what I mean? But I remember, go on. There was one that I remember that I used to really push with you lot, which was like, you know, pass and run to the spare code. Do you remember that, Tristan?
I bring that memory. That memory.
Pass and run to the spare code. So it'll be like a spiral, innit? It'll be like a spiral, innit? So it doesn't matter if you got 5, 6 players, 7 players, whatever, but it'll always be in that. For every player in it, there's a code, but there'll always be 2 or 3 spare codes spread out. So all you have to do is pass to the player on the cone, innit? But you have to identify where that spare cone is, and you got to sprint there. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. You got to identify where that. Yeah. So what would happen is, and I used to say to them, you don't identify the spare cone when the ball gets to your feet. Do you know what I'm saying? You're constantly looking. Where's that? You got to be constantly looking, because if it takes them too long, then there's a forfeit. If it takes them too long, there's a forfeit. So it's got to be.
Be honest.
If I'm being real, it's the same. The same. Nothing. I haven't changed the forfeit. Like what you see, doesn't change. It doesn't. The change the forfeit doesn't change. Do you know what I mean? The forfeit. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what the forfeit is. It didn't change. It didn't matter the age.
For the people that are gonna watch this, or the people that are watching this now, and you don't know about Cricklewood, the forfeits are peak. It's peak. Yeah. Long. It's long. The forfeits are long. Just do the drill right, innit?
Yeah. All right. So you know what is? I wanna let's move on a little bit here, because there's that. I want to know tell me about the Millwall experience. This is crucial, because you got to remember, there was like, I didn't see you after you got into Millwall for about 3 years, even though we touch base with your dad. Yeah. And I remember I didn't see you for about 3 years, and I just remember saying, I looked up and I said, right, is this Tristan? And so I saw the growth, bro. Do you know what I mean? I saw the growth, but what was that experience like at Millwall?
First things first, I'll say is best experience I had, best so far in my life, football-wise, and the people I've met. Like, just quick touch on the people I met and at Mill at the time, I'm still friends with today as my good friends. And I think because I was 13, 14, that's when you start to really go out with friends and make friends outside of school. So it was good to gel with them for 3 years. And good things that we're all playing football at different clubs now. But to talk about myself, I went there now. I was scared, nervous. First time going to academy football. Remember my first day was after school. I went Abdi. So me and Abdi went. And they told us, oh, they came to watch Abdi. And they really came to watch Abdi, but they saw me.
And they saw you.
And they said, yeah. Cool, let's bring both of them. So me and Abdi go together. So met with Abdi's brother now. And we went over, trained, first session, just meeting everyone. Intensity was high. It was different. Everyone was a good player. There's a couple stand-up players Millwall had. And I can't lie, I thought I was in the deep end. I wasn't up to speed with them. A lot of them they was all better than me, I'll be real. I was on trial for 6 weeks. I'll say took me 3 weeks to really like be comfortable and show them what I could do. But they paid me left back. They said, we're going to get you used to academy football and pay you left back. So the meeting came. Me and Abdi had a meeting the same day. Abdi didn't get signed, unfortunately, and I did. So the journey home that day was devastating. I didn't know what to say to Abdi. We went home together. I didn't know what to say to him. But yeah, from then, so they told me, my coach told me that he didn't really like me as a player. He didn't like me, but the academy manager, the head of recruitment, and the head of under 16s liked me and saw something in me. And they're his bosses, so they said, sign him. So it's not up to him. He has a say, but it's not up to him. He said, it's up to my boss. So we're going to work with you. And to be honest, he's Dean Palmer, a good coach. He got to like me after the year I spent with him. He put me left back, right, and said to me, you're just going to get used to academy football, playing left back. So that's when I really started thinking about football now, like my career. Starting week in, week out, played against teams, beat Palace, QPR, Charlton, Chelsea's, all them teams. You'll lose 1 week like 6-0, the next week you'll win like 15 something. That age in academy football was crazy. Got to under 14s now, and the team he had, unstoppable. We went on like a 15-game streak. We were beating everyone, 5-0, 6-0, Birmingham, all them teams, just smashing teams. And that's when I really enjoyed football. And I was like, yeah, it's good. And I saw the best of me coming out. I was like, I'm really improving now. On the 14s now, got another 2-year extension. And that's when my mind really switched on that. My lifestyle is football. Scholar. The next step is scholar. So, but I was going into year 10 with a 2-year contract, and I got to come out of school in year 11 with a scholarship. So I was like, this is the deep end, but football hits you. The coaches realize it's the deep end as well. So the coaches are a lot tougher. Everything. It was a lot tougher because we wasn't only playing like under 15s. It was under 15s and 16s. We had mixed training sessions. So I'm playing with guys a year up. Young guys are they're more physical, a lot quicker. They're just better players. So it was tough. But I stood my ground. And the under 15 year was my last year playing left back. It was a good year. Under 16s now, in my meeting at the beginning of the season, they said, we want you to play centre back. We want to turn you into a centre back. I played there before, the odd occasion, in the academy games and all that, but I thought I was left back, innit? But because I was growing so quickly, they said, nah, you're a centre back. So I had a 1 year to compete against a player called Arthur Penny, who's another centre back, right side of centre half. He's been at Millwall his whole life. When they told me they're going to turn me a centre back, they let me go within 3 months. They didn't give me a time to really play. They just let me go. Just before I went back to school, like September times, they let me go. At first, I was very upset, but I sat down at home once speaking to my dad, and I said to my dad, you know what? To be honest, Arthur was a better centre half. You have to be real with yourself. Arthur was the better centre half. He's good on the ball, good in the air, very composed. He was the better centre half, and probably keep in there for a while as well. Football's politics. They can give him a scholar, but he was the better player. So I can't take it on as I'm gonna quit football. I've got nothing to do. So I contacted Gary, went back to HMB, but that was called Textbook.
Yeah, textbook.
Yeah, Textbook Soccer.
Yeah, big up Gary as well.
Yeah, of course.
Because you know it's both of them up. Big for them up still, because you see what it is, yeah. I mean, Gary definitely done his part with you there. He definitely done his part with you there, because
100.
I remember seeing you. I remember seeing you come back into Textbook, and obviously, you know, man, I think that Textbook team at that time definitely was a golden, because it reminded me of like old school AFC Wembley when you lot were killing things. Do you know what I mean? Like just them group of players and that. And for you to come back into the fold for a bit, like, yeah, that was good. It was good. Because I enjoyed watching those games as well, man. I think I'll say you lot won everything, innit? In that competition.
We won everything.
You won everything. Yeah, bar probably one tournament or something like that. Or
but it was a good. I was there for a couple of months. It was a good couple of months. But I came in as the boy from Millwall, and obviously it's people from the area, innit? So they kind of knew who I was already. Yeah. But Gary even told me from the jump, you got to set example now. Like, you're the one who came from academy. So I felt like a little bit of pressure, but I knew how to deal with that pressure. Yeah. But my goal was just strictly try and get a scholarship team.
Yeah.
So
within that. So you see when the Millwall coach, I think what you said, the head of recruitment, when he said, "Nah, this is the guy we got to go for," and he said that he kind of saw something in you. Did he ever tell you what that something was?
I was left-footed. I was growing, and I was good on the ball, and it could turn me into a centre back. That's what he said to me. So he said, they kept telling me all the time, there's not many left-footed centre halves out there in football. You don't find many. And he said, you're gonna grow. You're gonna be a tall lad.
Remember that as well, you know.
Yeah. And he said, you're going to grow, you're going to be a tall lad. And he said, you're good on the ball, and we can use that because all the caddies want to play out from the back. So that's the first thing he said. But I think it comes down to me as well. I didn't grow into the play they wanted me to be. But obviously, I think I didn't really get the opportunities because they told me at under 16, you're going to change into a centre-back, except from playing me there earlier.
Yeah, interesting. There was another thing I wanted to...
I will tell you this, yeah. I will tell you this. Sorry, just remember, left-footed centre-backs are very, very rare, bro.
Yeah.
Very rare. Very rare. Because even at that time, I was speaking to a scout and I actually mentioned your name. Or I mentioned your profile. Do you know what I mean? At the time. And if I'm being real, the club was very, 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 very high in it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But you got to understand, in terms of football, it's about strategy, innit? You get what I'm trying to say? It's not just to say, I play for this club and you don't get nothing out of it. It's about literally, have I got the pathway to progress? Do you get what I mean? So even in regards to me, is left-footed centre-backs are rare. Very, very rare. So you got to always remember that, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're rare to the game, man. There's not that many left-footed centre-backs. So you always got to remember that. No matter, even when it going gets tough, innit, just work harder, bro, because you're more valuable, if that makes sense. As long as you're doing your stuff, you're more valuable to a team, because left-footed centre-backs bring balance. We know that there's bare right-footed centre-backs. Left-footed centre-backs brings balance to a team, bro. Do you know what I'm saying to you? That's how you get balance. You get what I'm trying to say? So always
I know
remember that. Do you know what I mean? But sorry, Ron, go on. What were you going to say?
Nah, because there was something that Tristan said earlier when we were talking about his time with you. And you were talking about how Alfred's training session sort of helped you find yourself, which at that age, like it's interesting for someone at that age to say that. And I just wanted to touch on something, like, you see, I know that there's a lot of young footballers that will go through, you know, the whole footballing process in terms of academies and trying to get into first teams and whatnot. But I just wanted to ask you, Tristan, in terms of that importance of actually knowing who you are as a person, knowing your limits, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, knowing you can be adaptable. Like, how important is that to you in terms of that human quality?
I think it's very important. One of the most important human qualities to have is to like know yourself and what you can do and what you can't do. And I think that going back to what I said earlier, it helped Arthur's sessions and meeting Arthur made me help me find myself as that I was going to training a lot more than I was before, and I have to go after school. And it was for me to have the drive to make sure I attend training and give it my all, as well as going to school, as well as dealing with problems at home. And a lot of people always go through stuff outside of football, outside of school, at home. It could be anything. And a lot of people suffer from it. And I think football it helped me clear my head, always helped me to clear my head. So that's why I think I enjoyed going. And that's when I knew, I said, if football helps me clear my head, I'm going to try to play football every day and do my best every day because it makes me happy. So I think that's what I mean, but it made me, it helped me find myself. And I think it's a very important quality to have, to know yourself. Because when people ask you questions about yourself, you've got to tell them what you're good at and what you're not good at and who you are. And everyone's unique in their own way. So I know now I'm unique in my own way. And it's just about always playing to your strengths and living your life to your strengths and how you want to live it. And it's always up to you. All the decisions you make now are going to affect you later on in life. And that's what I found out back then.
Yeah. Fred, I see what you mean when you talk about maturity, man. Like, you hear it like right there. Like, I wanted to ask you, Fred, as well, in terms of like the sessions that you used to run for them, like, were you planning sessions or doing sessions? Was that on purpose to make them know themselves and to make them understand who they really are? Or was that just something that just came along with your sessions?
No. I think definitely, especially with that group, man, because I think there were a lot of talent there, innit? Do you know what I mean? A lot of talent boys there. The most important thing was for them to know quickly. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, sometimes you have to go through different experiences to find out who you are, innit? Do you know what I mean? But some people just need a little bit of direction, and it's like, I definitely know I'm not that. You get what I'm trying to say? Some people figure that out. Like, I'm definitely not that. And you can figure that out quickly. You don't even have to go through the full 100 of going through that experience. You just think, like, that's not me. This is me. And I think, you see what it is? I think setting up tests and challenges. Because see, one thing that really springs to mind when Tristan talked about his experience was the dedication and consistency to training, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and I'm glad, I'm not gonna be honest, I'm glad he's reaping the rewards, because there were certain training sessions, Ron. It was me, Tristan, probably Malachi, or somebody else. Like, just 3 people in it. So you see that attention to detail. Potentially, if there's 50 people or 20 people in there, it might be the fact that one person could have been, you're still in year 7. We used to have training, and I'm talking training, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? 6 to 8, year 7, himself, wherever the training session is, where it is, he's turning up. Giving 100%, where you can imagine you give the same opportunities to, and they'll be like, nah, I can't be bothered. Do you know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, Tristan, if you remember, there was a few ballers in that AFC Wembley team, right? And I spoke to a few of them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I tried to give them the same opportunities to come down. And I'm saying some real talented ones around that. But it's Tristan's a couple years later. Do you know what I mean? Not even now, fella. I'm talking by year 9, year 10. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's one important thing. Yes, they were talented, but did they know who they were? As much as everyone says that they want to become a footballer, do you know what I mean? It brings them to one of my next questions. They have to understand, to become a footballer, you got to sacrifice something, innit? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to have it all. You're not going to be able to go out and hang out with your friends every single night of the week, because more time you've got to be training. Do you know what I mean? You're probably going to have an early Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Then you've got to do the stage. And I think with Tristan, in all honesty, I could see that from a long time ago. This kid, as much as, and the thing is, it's not even to say he was trying to sacrifice it to make it. He's sacrificing because I like football, and if this is going to make me a better footballer, this is what I'm going to do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because if I'm being honest with you, just in my mind, them early days, I'm thinking you're doing this because you know what it is and you want to make it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking in my mind that, you just want to be a better footballer. You get what I'm trying to say? Because I think we're a little bit. Do you ever remember the futsal finals that we played and we lost on penalties?
No.
Tristan, do you remember that? You don't remember that?
No.
It's funny enough, it's on YouTube still. It's on YouTube. And I remember I picked you up. It was in Brunel University. I remember picking you up, and when we're going back, this is literally just before you got the trials of Millwall. And we're saying to you, Rad, like, that you know that there's other players in your team that just literally went Premier League futsal. I remember Special saying this to you. And I remember you looked at the guy like, what? Like, you probably looked at him like, what? Like, it was like a eureka moment, innit? And I looked and I thought, right, yeah. If you're looking and thinking, well, if he can do it, I can definitely do this. Do you know what I mean? I saw that in you still. I definitely saw that in you. Do you know what I mean? I think once you believe it's achievable, you're saying, yeah, I'm going to go out there and do it. Because moving back to when we're talking about the textbook days, yeah, and I thought in my head, if I'm being honest, I thought, right, this could be tricky. Not because you ain't got the ability to do it, because I know how it feels. And I remember, obviously, I've dealt with a lot of you in terms of this rejection part where you get let go. And getting let go in year 11, bro, is one of the hardest, especially when you get let go, like September or October or something like that.
Yeah, September.
And I'm not gonna lie, I know that can be difficult, because sometimes it's it's a bit of a rat race, bro. Because really and truly, what's happening is, even in the academies and that, they've got players. We've got the players that we want to give our scholarships to. So for somebody to come in and literally break the mold. What I mean by breaking the mold is there's only a few spaces, isn't it? You know what I'm trying to say? And you nine times out of 10, they already know who's getting scholars, who's not.
Yeah.
For someone to break through like that at that stage, and to be able to go into a new team, at least give a good example of yourself, where they can look and think, yeah, you know what, cool. Like, we're gonna give. And I'll be real, I from how personality as a human being, I can understand why it was so easy for you. But at that time, I was worried. Do you know what I mean? Not because it's more about the time more than the quality, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because it's literally a rat race. Yeah, I mean, look, just going back to that, even talk about, before we even got to Leyton Orient, talk about the trials. Talk about the trial process when you went to,
So, got released from Millwall and I went back to school. And my teachers came up to me asking me, are you going to be going day release again this year? Because I used to always go day release at Millwall. And even I was scared to tell them that I got released. I didn't know how to say it to them. I got released from Millwall. I'm not doing that no more. But I just told them, I just finally had the confidence to tell them. I told them, and they was like, well, we support you in everything you do to try and get into another team. But you've got to remember, your 11's also GCSEs, and that's very important. Always got to do well in the GCSEs. So my mindset was, try and get into a team, but you got to focus on schoolwork as well, innit? And I knew if I didn't get a team, I will go and do an apprenticeship. So I need to get certain grades to go get an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
But my main focus was football at the time. So I went to textbook, and then Gary sent me on trial at Watford with Jordan Gray. Do you know Jordan? Midfielder. Yeah. Jordan. So me and Jordan was there for like, maybe I'll say 2 weeks. Watford wasn't really organised at the time. We just trained. That's it. We didn't really play no matches. We played an in-house game. We lost that game 1-0. I had an all right game, but training and all that was good at Watford. They're a good team, but it was hard to get to if you're not driving. Like after school, I had to go by myself, but my dad would pick me up after the session. It's hard to get to, and I was only there for 2 weeks. But they just said no, like straight away. They just said no. So I took that one on the chin. Went back to textbook. I went to Luton. I was at Luton for about 6 weeks. I think Luton gave me the confidence to go on to other teams and know that I can get signed. Because I was at Luton, I was impressed with my first 2 games. And the training what we was doing at Luton was very good. And it helped me improve as a defender. Because I said to them, I don't really have much, I'll be honest, I don't have much experience as playing at the back, as a centre-back. What you're looking for. I don't have much experience, but I'm willing to do anything to learn. I was there for 6 weeks. I think I really improved over the 6 weeks with Luton, but I didn't get a scholar at Luton. But they sent me a paragraph saying what I did well and what I need to work on. So I took what they told me, and they was like, you just need to be, it's all about decision making at the back. Being a centre half is all about decision making, whether you're going to clear the ball or you're going to take control and play out from the back, or go long, go short, go up for the header, drop, delay, or step in. They said them things you just need to work on. But we was impressed. But I didn't get a scholar there. So I took on board everything and worked on it. And I went to Leyton Orient. But at the time I was at Leyton Orient, I was playing matches with Norwich, the development centre. Norwich Development Centre was very impressed with me, so they sent me on to the academy. But I was training with Leyton Orient at the time, so I was kind of like playing the system kind of, because you're not meant to be at 2 clubs at the same time. But because you can't really go training, in Norwich, because all their boys go to boarding school and all that, I was training at Leyton Orient. Played 2 games, played a game against Crystal Palace, we won 2-1. I had a right game, but they said for me I need to have a very, very good game on the next game. And that was against Aston Villa, so the pressure was on. We won 1-0, but that was the best game I had. And they said to me, the exact word, I'm the same as their other centre-back, Jaden, the guy called Jaden Warner. I'm the same as their other centre-back, but they're looking for something better than Jaden. And I was thinking, it's a bit tough, but what they're saying makes sense. Like, if they're going to bring someone, it's got to be better than their centre-back they already have.
Better,
yeah. So I was like, cool. But they said to me, drop down to Cat 2 and you'll get into a team. Because at the time, Norwich was Cat 1. Leyton Orient are Cat 3 now. As soon as they found out that I didn't get signed by Norwich, they made me play the next game. I didn't play under 16s. I went straight into under 18s. And I was on trial. I played about 3 games with the under 18s, and they said, yeah, we'll give you a contract. They were just happy with everything I was doing, and they saw that they could work with me. And that was around March. That was early March. And I was thankful that I got out of the way, because it still gave me time now to focus on school. Now that I had the contract, I said, I got months to focus on school, except for I know players who go all day June, July, and they ain't got no team. So I was thankful, and I took it straight away. I said, you know what, I'm going to take Leyton Orient, and the reason why I took it is because it's under 18s and then first team. So you're always going to be close to the first team. So as long as I can improve rapidly within the first year as a scholar, I have more of a chance of being with the first team, except for going through the under 23 system, where it's a good system, but you can get lost in the under 23 squad and be 23 playing 23. You don't want that.
Free football.
You don't even want to be like 20 playing under 23s. You want to be playing 23s when you're 16 to like 19. 16. Yeah. So that's when I said I'll go Leyton Orient and try and break into the first team. And that was the journey after Millwall, and now I'm at Orient.
How tough was it during that trial period? Like, did you ever feel like just going, you know what, I've gone to Watford, they're not having it. Tried Luton, they don't want me. Like, during them 2 times, or even with Norwich as well, did you ever feel like, you know what, I might as well just pack it in and stop playing?
I'll tell you when I did feel like I'll pack it in. I didn't say this. When I went Watford first, after I went Luton, Watford called me back. but they called me back with a bunch of boys who've been released from all clubs. So it was like 2 boys who got released from Millwall with me came, boys from Arsenal, all clubs from Cat 1 to Cat 3, and we played a match against Watford. So when they called me back, I played well in that match. We won 1-0. They called me to train again. So I was thinking, what, they want me to come back now. And it's because they got a new head of recruitment and everything. Yeah. So I came back. I was there for 1 session, and then I didn't sign no paperwork as in to play matches, and they didn't call me to come back. So that's when I thought, well, this team looked at me twice and didn't want me at all. Something must be wrong with me. That's when I thought, really and truly, maybe football, I'm just not going to get into a team. But I still went, even though I felt like that, I still went training, and I still trained and just hoped for the best. And it came. Sometimes you got to be lucky with things, innit? So Norwich came through, and then Leyton Orient came through. And that's when I went to Norwich and played, and I said, you know what? The boys in that Norwich team in Cat 1, them boys are good. It's all about the fundamentals, innit? They're really good at the fundamentals, the basics. And I said, them lot are better than me at the basics, but I'm not far off. So it gave me belief saying I can go to a team a step below and I'm pretty sure I can get in. That's what gave me the confidence to say, I know I can get in because I played with the boys who are meant to be at the top of the country and I'm not far off. Yeah. So that's when I got my confidence back, and I went to Leyton Orient with that confidence, and they liked what they saw in it. But it was tough. It was tough because it was tough, especially to deal with school and GCSEs and the pressure that's on you from your teachers and parents to do well in school.
You see, the thing is, and this is what I'm saying about your story, Tristan. Do you know how many hurdles you've had to overcome? How many barriers? You see, if you understand, from the moment we started this conversation, and we talk about going back to FC Wembley, bruv. And I always say this to people, that you went from being dropped from the A to the Bs, and you were about to go, and you just went straight from the B team and straight to Millwall. Do you get what I'm trying to say? After Millwall get released at year 11, then again, juggling the GCSEs, juggling trying to find a club, and you've at least got a home at Leyton Orient, bro. Yeah, and this is the thing. In all honesty, this is why I said that we need to do this interview, because you see what, obviously, it's a sad, and I don't even want to bring it up like that, but it's 2 weeks ago, when the age groups for Man City, the young man that obviously took his life because he didn't get his pro, and this is why it's very important to do this interview, because see, when I speak to you, I know, first of all, that I know that you're very grounded, bro. I know that you've got a good support mechanism, but I also know that you're very, very, very realistic. Do you understand? You're very and resilient at that. And these are all the makeups that you need, do you know what I'm trying to say, to become a top, because it has its highs and it has its lows. And the thing is, you've got superstars that have, for one reason or another, it hasn't even, I'm not talking worked out on the pitch, I'm talking worked out off the pitch, that they've got obstacles that they just can't overcome. And the thing is, I think playing football is like a fishbowl, isn't it? Everybody can see it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And you're just on display like if you're in a museum. And if you don't have a strong mindset, if you don't have the proper resilience to be able to deal with the hard days and the shortcomings, bro. Do you know what I mean? It becomes a lonely place. It becomes for myself, growing up playing football, I'm glad I can teach young people or make them avoid the mistakes that I made. Yeah. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? Because I remember getting to 60, same as you, and saying, bomb this is long. I'm just being real. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I said, this is long. I ain't juggling all this. You get what I'm trying to say to you? It's long. I'd rather just not get involved in it. And it got to a point where when it got to the politics of football, it stopped being fun. You get what it stopped being fun. And I said, you know what, I'm not for me personally at that time, at a young age, I said I wasn't playing football for this, and I didn't get into football for this. Do you know what I mean? And even ask Rob, you'll see when the politics side comes into football, Like, even for me as an adult now, it's not fun. I don't enjoy it. You get what I'm trying? I don't, and it goes back to issues of it goes back to issues from when I was young, when the politics started getting involved in football. I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to do this for this. And when I look at you and I'm thinking, right, like you're a testament to like everything man's trying to work towards and stand for in regards to the younger generation coming up, because you need to be able, you have to have that thick skin. You need to be able to overcome these hurdles. You need to be able to be resilient, because it's not all going to be plain sailing. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's why I would say, like, right, like you're in the history books for our first youth captain, not just because of what you do on the pitch, it's the way you carry yourself off the pitch and the story that you keep living, because you have to understand, we show some of our younger group now, because we got the next generation of the 10s, 11-year-olds. We show our younger group this now, and it gives them confidence. And the thing is, it's not even no fairy. And that's the most important thing that for any young person to have to grasp in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not all going to be plain sailing. It's literally how you pick yourself up after the hard knocks. Do you know what I mean? That kind of makes you then, like, from an early age, you've overcome most of your knocks, bro. Like, I'm just being honest, like, you've overcome, and I'm praying that if there are any hurdles again in front, you're jumping that anyway. You get what I'm trying to say? Because you've got the grounding and you've got the training to be able to do that. And I just think in football today, there's not many like yourself in it, because you've got the ingredients that's gonna take you through. And it's not about talent. All at the end of the day, it's about your makeup in it and what makes you as a person. Do you know what I mean? And the talent is an addition. You know what I mean? It's an attribute that you can build on. But if you don't have the minerals, it's gonna be hard. And I said, I think it's good that we're able to even give you this platform. You can even give us this platform to share your story. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So now, blessings to you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Rom, you want to say something as well?
I think to sort of like finalize and sum it up, I think I know this is my first time meeting you, Tristan. I think like just going off from this conversation and what I've heard from before, like without necessarily adding unneeded pressure, like the future is looking good for you in terms of your football, wherever that takes you.
Thank you.
That's coming from someone that's never seen you play. Like, I haven't seen you play yet, Tristan. I haven't seen you play. I'm just hearing your mannerisms, the way you carry yourself, your character, your morals. That's what I'm going off. And it's like, for me as a coach, that's what interests me the most. You can ask Alfred. Before someone comes with the techers, I want to know what our peers saying. If our peers good, then it gives me a little bit more confidence to go and work with such a player. And I think, just continue that, because that's what coaches. Some coaches say it, some don't. But all coaches love it. They love a young, bright kid that's got a very high level of maturity. And I think so long as you stick with that,
you'll be fine.
There were so many, and I know we're not good for time, but there were so many other things I wanted to talk about.
I mean, look. So at least
do this again.
Go on, touch on. Yeah.
Do this again for sure.
Touch on.
There's a lot more to talk about.
But I want to ask you something before we even just sign off. Is that your first team number on your DB?
Yeah, it is.
Is it? All right. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm saying. Like, in short, man. Like, obviously you've got a number. You know what I'm saying? You've got a number, bruv. I need to see you put that top on in it. But how's training at the moment? Anyway? How's it going anyway?
Well, just talk about. I'll talk about the Orient. I mean, talk about it now. The last 2 years quickly. Went there straight away. The pre-season, I went into training, and the first team manager he liked me a lot. So I started to train with the first team. Had a pre-season friendly with them last year. We won 2-1, but it was totally different. Physically, like, you're playing with men now, not boys, it's men. So physically, I couldn't really keep up with them, like going up for headers and all that. So it was like, yeah, I've hit another stage. I need to get through it now. Yeah, and that's when I realized football became real. This is my everyday life. Monday, I'm in the gym. Tuesday, in the gym, training. You got to eat the right food, sleep. And this when football really became real. It's my lifestyle. My life is football. So it was a big change. What you talk about my DP was a game against Southend in the EFL Trophy. I was on the bench for the first team. They just said it was that because I had a good run of games in the youth team, very good, and they wanted to congratulate me by just saying that you're doing well. So that was a good moment for me. Devastated, like I didn't come on or didn't get any minutes, but it was a stepping stone. I was happy. Fast forward to now, with all this COVID and that, it's kind of pushed us a step back from getting a pro because we're not in and around the first team anymore. We're not allowed to be near them because of all this COVID. So me going on loan was the best thing that happened to me because the coaches are able to come watch me play against men, play with men. I went to Harlow Town on loan. I was there for a month, started off well, but they paid me left back. So I was like, bringing it back. Left back, left back, bringing it back. I had 2 games at left back, good. I wanted to play centre half, but the manager just was not feeling me centre half because that's politics. The manager actually paid himself centre back except from playing me, which sent me mad. But you just got to deal with it, innit? It's the manager's choice.
Yeah.
We called back to loan now last week. We had a youth cup game on Monday against Woking. Wokin's a college team, so we're meant to win. We lost. We actually lost. We lost 3-2 on extra time. A game that we should have put to bed, but 2 own goals, a missed penalty. You just don't go your way.
Yeah, it wasn't. You didn't get a rubber agreement that day.
Yeah, it just didn't go your way. But that was the most recent setback I've had, and I had to bounce back from my game yesterday morning I had against Gillingham. We drew 1-1, but it was a better performance from the team and individually. But that's the thing of football. You can lose one week, but your coaches expect you to be on fire the next week. You can't dwell on anything. You just got to move on.
Yeah.
So that's me at Orient right now. Like, that's up to date.
Who's your gaffer at Orient now?
Brian Saar.
The first team.
The first team gaffer is Ross Embleton. Nah, the first team is Ross Embleton.
Okay. And with your 18s, who's your manager there?
Brian Saar.
Okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure they're teaching you the right stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
You got to do this. I wanted to ask, okay, so if you weren't playing football at the moment, or if you weren't playing football, what would you be doing right now?
Good question. I actually thought about that once. I would say it's hard because ever since I went to Millwall, my life changed completely because, as I said earlier, the people I met at Millwall were good friends of mine now, kept me going through the tough times because they all play football themselves. So there's that 12 of us, right? And 6 of us played at Millwall, other of us played at other clubs. 4 of us got released, and only 2 of them stayed. But the 2 that stayed pushed us to make sure we get play for other clubs. So my friendship group and the people I was always around was always to play football. So it was like it's only right for me to play football. And I think that if I wasn't playing football, I would say I'd be doing an apprenticeship. I'd definitely be in school, 100%. I think the people I've always kept around me, my parents especially, and the friends I do have outside of football they'll never let me go down that pathway of not doing anything with my life and going onto the road and all that. And it's something I couldn't see myself doing. But I'll try my hardest to keep myself in school. I wasn't playing football. And my backup plan was to do an apprenticeship. And I also do an apprenticeship in accountancy.
Okay, wicked. That's a plan, bro. You can still do that, though.
I can still do that.
it
Like,
after. You
I
got
can
to
still do it.
get me.
100%. Yeah.
You can definitely still do that, man. At least even keep out of that dream, because you know, football revolves around money. You know what I'm trying to say to you. Having a good account, having an accountancy, you know what I mean, qualification always helps, bro.
You got to know what you're doing with your money, because the football career don't last forever.
Sure.
It's a couple of years, and you got. I said to myself, I got to be realistic. If I stay at Leyton Orient for a long time, the level I'm playing at, you get a decent amount of money, but it's not the money like to retire like them Premier League players.
Yeah.
So I have to be realistic on what I do with my money and what I invest it in. So that's like a next step for myself as well. What I'm gonna do. If everything goes right with a professional contract, what am I gonna do with the money that comes with it?
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's smart. I'm you know what it is, I'm very proud, bro. I'm very, very, very proud, bro. I must say, I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? You're right on. You're doing well. You're doing well, man. Do you know what I mean? What I'm gonna say, I think we need to touch base with this again. But thank you very much for your time. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, no problem, man. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when we get through this lockdown, bro, you gotta come back to the club and you know what I mean, just greet everybody and that.
I got to come for a session.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I saw you playing the other day. I came to Pennington Rec and I saw Chris after you lot's game, and I said straight away, where's Alfred? Like, and I went to the pitch. Yeah. And then I asked a group of boys, a group of coaches, they said, "Oh, you just left."
Yeah.
I just missed you. And this was what? Last month. This was last month. This was like the other day.
The game.
Okay,
You lot had a game at Pennington Rec the other day.
I
literally came like
that.
10 minutes after I came, because all my friends are playing on the other pitch.
Off pitch, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard that you're the man when it comes to this, to getting man them together, the real ballers together. I've heard you're the man. You're getting north, south, east, west, called Tristan, isn't it?
I bring my guys from Millwall, yeah.
Yeah. I heard. We need to set something up still, man. We definitely need to set something up. But
for sure, there's talent. Trust me, there's talent.
Okay, no, cool.
You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it.
No, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it soon. So listen, hail up your mum and your dad for me, do you know what I mean? Because and again, your dad, man, big supporter, bro. Big advocate of what you're doing, bro. You know what I'm saying to you? He's proud of you, and I know you're proud of him. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So you lot just keep doing your thing, man, and just hail up the family for me. But Tristan, I'm gonna leave you catch up with the rest of your Sunday, and
Thank you.